Do you think it's so? You don't think it's going to get to a third map? So who do you think is going to be taking it 2-0?
I'm going to say this first map definitely goes to DK. Second map, I'm going to give it 60-40 to DK. So with whatever happens, I have DK coming out on top.
Well, find out what happens. This is the upper bracket final, so the winner is going to go to the grand finals, guaranteed. Going to have a chance at either the first or second place, as we are starting out here on Koth Lakeside as ODB and Giraffe. Giraffe is going to easily get to that first point, or to the mid-fight first. He's going to try to work it as Spamfest using that milk, trying to get it over the top, as Feint, as well as some of the flank classes, are going to start fighting over the pool. But here comes the Soldier, doing such a good job, taking down Nursey so incredibly low. And that's going to prompt a push, as Nursey's now not at the front lines anymore to try to heal up the team.
Carl here on 3 health, gets some great pressure across the point, but Feint comes in, sniping 2 players here, including Carl. So this should have been a very clean push to mid here, but the flank classes on the side of the kids coming back in, and they're taking down Viper as well. This is going to give the capture to the kids somehow.
Yeah, it seemed that the kids won over onto the pool side. I saw at least 3 players going into that area, and having control of the pool area is really important. That allowed Etney to be able to get a bomb in, try to get a force off. And so as you said, it should have been DK's point, because Nursey left early on and they didn't have heals. I was kind of surprised they were able to hold on so well, but now both teams are at 100% as the kids in blue are holding on to the point. No Love trying to work it up there as Spamfest trying to work across the point right now. The engineer is going to get sapped inside of the pool side. Looks like DK is just going to kind of slowly aggress this point, taking their time, trying not to pop off too early.
This is the start that the kids needed. They win the mid. Yosh got to snipe off onto board pretty quickly here. Some of the plays on TK are pretty hurt here. We saw Bobby going for a high bomb, trying to make a play as the Uber comes out. Medway brings in ODB, sending in Spamfest as well, getting the force out on the Nursey. But it looks like the numbers are going to go the way of DK.
Yeah, they cleared out the pool side. Bobby went all the way back round. Now Nursey has to be careful that she doesn't get caught in. Oh no, but Boar with a nice headshot takes her down. And that's going to give it back over to DK, who's down by about a minute, but going to be in a pretty decent spot now. And now we'll see what they can do to hold on to this point aggressively, or if they're going to play passively behind it, which is looking like what they're going to do. ODB is up, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to get a little bit more aggressive off this, but with Medaway sitting up at about a 60% advantage, they're in a very good spot.
Now we see Medway hanging onto Boar, sitting on the stairs, watching the kids. The kids actually come in straight through main, uncontested. Boar doesn't have to be far enough forward where he's able to snipe them out. So right now we have ODB trying to pressure forward, stop them from getting too close, but the kids are all the way onto the point.
They're trying to push across Draft, doing a lot of damage. Ends up getting a force off. I'm not exactly sure. That would definitely, I don't think any got damage onto Medaway, but that's actually allowing Nursey to get out alive, so they got exactly what they wanted out of that situation. Draft's going to be back up in just a second, as when you do not control the point, your spawns are just that much faster, and so with 8 players alive, they don't have Yosh. That's going to be a little bit risky, because Boar's going to have that free sight line to be able to snipe them, but it looks like they're wanting to push up this far right-hand side, which has to be a little bit risky, because that's exactly where Boar is hard scoping in right now. And the kids are kind of dwindling their advantage, which should have been a lot bigger, now down to 40%. They're trying to work Yoshin, but Boar, who gets the better of that headshot exchange. And here we go, as the kids are going to start walking across the point.
Looks like Yoshi's now limp corpse was enough to take Boar out of commission and let Nursey get the cross through. Medaway is now on 90% here, 95. The Uber's finally working in with Giraffe, but Medaway is just about to have, and no one's even close to forcing him ahead of time.
Finally, Draft will use it. Medaway actually going down below half HP, but so many people on the blue side are down to such incredibly low health. We'll see how they can last after the Uber exchange is over. The point's still in the favor right now of DK, as they only have a minute left in the clock. Split in Draft, trying to work across the point, as Spamfest trying to contest them, but the big thing here is that DK did lose control of that pool side, and so it looks like they're going to also lose control of the point as Bobby takes that back, and they're onto the point. ODB trying to do everything he can, and in that exchange, Medaway actually went down, and so that's going to give the point back in the favor of the kids.
You know, Sigafoo, I mentioned how beautifully dynamic these Koth maps can be with these high-level teams. We saw at the end of that fight, DK had the point control, and the kids had Bathhouse. We had Feint going onto Ruins and rocking that Ambassador, getting the kill onto Nursey with a headshot. And as soon as that happens, all of the kids flood out of Bathhouse, pressure the DK side that's all over the floor, and they get the capture off.
Right now, looks like DK is just trying to get aggressive as Bobby going onto the enemy bats. This is going to be devastating for the kids. This is so hard to deal with. Nursey, he actually doesn't play it safe at all. He could have been a lot more passive, but he ends up trading his life. DK is pushing across the point with ×2, but the pool side is still in favor of the kids as the sentry gun sitting right there. ODB trying to do what he can to try to aggress across this point. Finally, going to get pushed back as Uber's coming out from Nursey, going on to split, trying to chase down Medaway, who's only at 82%. He's able to escape with his life, but the point still in the favor of the kids, who's catching up to DK's time right now, but they have to be careful as Medaway is coming up to 100%.
There was a lot of respect given to the side of DK here, and now they're able to take this Uber in completely for free. Spamfest flying across the point, tearing into Vanilla Love here. ODB coming in as well. Vanilla Love looks like he's going to escape with about 50 health here. The kids opt to rotate into Bath as Boar takes down Yosh.
And right now, DK is doing a really good job, and back and forth, though, but Split getting a nice kill onto ODB, and that's going to be a big kill right there because it's 15-second respawn for your Devilman, and it might allow some aggression to come across the point, but we'll see what Boar can do. The sniper is still alive. He's on the backside, but ×2 going in the favor right now of the kids. Spy did get caught out there. Vipa going down, or Vipa, as I should say. And right now, the kids doing a really good job of aggressing based off the Devilman not being there to try to push them back.
And despite having so many players on point, they're very slow about it, making sure no one gets caught out, making sure they totally understand what's happening here. They have just Spades is on the far side of point. Spamfest and ODB start pressuring now, but here, no Uber gets forced out of Nursey. Lazy's able to contest almost all of Medaway's Uber. Now Nursey takes it in with Split, Lazy, and Giraffe. They're able to walk all over the players in DK. And we're actually seeing some pretty nice kiting, but the numbers do end up in favor of DK here.
That was some great play coming out of ODB, the Devilman, who just put some stickies underneath the classes who are trying to get away. And right now, none of the kids are getting away. They're just getting cleaned up. Nursey will get out. Fate, though, with a nice backstab, will help out his team, but 7 seconds left on the clock. The kids need to get back onto the point as Etney's going to be jumping in. He's going to try to find something. Nursey got taken out on the backside from Boar. Fate's going to get taken out as well as DK is going to come down with the first round.
And what a nail-biter it was. You know, I said that I would give this map to DK, but what a strong showing. I believe there was only 9 seconds left on the clock for the kids.
Yeah, it was very close indeed, and we'll see if the second round can be just as close right now as we are coming out to the next mid-fight. I believe it was Split going down early on. Vanilla Love as well. Actually, that was a dead ringer. He's fooling me as well. And looks like right now, though, the pool control is going in the favor of kids, and that's what won them the last mid-fight. But right now, the point is still not up for capturing, but the kids trying to get aggressive across it.
Having Yosh in this forward position is very strong, but he was the farthest person forward on his team, so he gets pressured back. Carl goes down to just 20 health. The numbers are working in for DK here. And yeah, now that the kids are down their combo, they're not able to contest the point, and that's a mid-capture.
And so DK is going to be holding on to this right now. They won the last round, but looks like the kids wants to push up through that cave side. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing, is they're trying to work their way in. Etney does a nice little rollout, taking over the pool area, going all the way through. And that's going to help them out, but Bobby is going to try to contest him right now, pushing him back, able to grab the med pack and get a little bit better at that exchange. Right now, the kids doing a good job of working their way through the pool side, trying to raid down that damage, but right now they're pushing through a choke. They have to be careful. ODP trying to push him back, goes down incredibly low. Uber comes out from the DK side as they try to aggress in here, but Nursey still holding on to it, does finally pop it off onto Giraffe. Medaway actually has to be careful, running back through main. Carl's still holding incredibly forward. No one's focusing down. He hasn't taken a lick of damage, but oh no! Huge headshot coming out of Yosh, taking down Medaway, and that's going to give the point back in the favor of kids.
We've seen such strong Ubers coming out of Nursey here. She knew that she was able to bait her team without losing anyone, and that allowed them to have something like a 50% Uber there. Now we're having Carl goes down, Vipa goes down. This is going to let the kids get some high ground set up here. Medaway is actually extending pretty far forward despite not having his heavy. And it looks like the kids aren't really ready to pressure it. ODB gets a 2K onto Ender and Lazy, and that's going to help them edge the cap.
And ODB gets taken out, and they lose a couple more. Faint with a nice backstab to open up that play. And that's going to allow kids to tick down the time a little bit more in their favor, what was actually looking a little bit bad for them. As right now, Etney and Split doing a good job of dueling on that pool side, maintaining that control. I'm going to continue to talk about it because it's so utterly important as the kids holding on to the point and also just a little bit of an Uber advantage.
And now we only have Spades on the side of DK is not with us, and Empty's down on the side of the Kids. So this is a little bit of a stalemate here, but the onus is on DK. They're the ones who need to get this capture back in their favor. And Medaway brings the Uber in with Spamfest and ODB. And yet again, Nursey pops when Medaway's Uber is almost over. Medaway has to run for his life, Split closing the distance, bringing Medaway down to 50 health. And this is going to keep the high ground in the favor of the Kids.
We'll see what they can do. They lost some players, or I'm sorry, they have players still for it, but they are going to lose Lazy right now. And DK is going to try to grasp, but oh, Split getting a beautiful kill, taking down ODB. Again, no demo man for DK to try to help out with this push. And this point in particular is such a high ground area. It's so useful to have that demo man to try to help you out. Billy Soros is getting wrecked. Every single DK player is trying to step up and get some more cap time for his team, but they're stepping up alone, and they're just getting absolutely annihilated as Bobby is going to try to find some annihilation himself as he does a huge bomb in. He does take down Etney onto the backside as the engineer Spades is doing work on the flank. And right now, the point is going to go back in the favor of DK slowly but surely as they are going to aggress it. Finally, come on. It looks like they wanted it, but Kids are still holding on.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they're getting this despite being down 3 players, but they realize that themselves to get a little scared now. Way too little too late. ODB starts pressuring forward. They do get the cap out, but not having a demo means that the Kids are able to take this right back.
And with ODB, after he took the point, he went down right away. And so since they took the point, that put him on a long respawn. The Uber is going to come out from DK, but it's going to be, again, much better for Nursey, who's doing a wonderful job today, holding on to her Ubers, waiting as long as she can, baiting it out, doing a great job with her team, as Split doing a good job, cleaning up kills. Medaway will get out alive, but the point goes back in the favor of the Kids, and they've been looking incredibly strong this round.
And
oh my god, Lazy! Lazy going huge! Holding down that WK, and he's on a 6K right now. Absolutely insane. I think he got 3 kills in rapid succession.
Oh yeah. A lot of people don't know Lazy so well because most of his time was spent, you know, with the Silver Savages kind of crowd, but Lazy, I would probably say, is the best player in Platinum right now. Always such an outstanding performance from him, very well-rounded, very heads-up player. And now this means that there's going to be a 50% ad on the side of the Kids, and DK has to work all the way in, walk into the sight lines, and there's only 5 seconds on the clock.
DK is going to do anything they can to try to get on this point. If they don't, they're going to lose this round. Everybody's standing on top of it. Finally, they're doing a good job, but they're losing some players. Down goes Carl. Here comes Uber out. Lazy's going to be leading the charge as Medaway gets way popped up in the air. The point cleanup is happening as the invincibility is going to work against DK. Kids has had a great Uber pop there, as along with all the ones they had this round. And if that's the way the Kids are going to play the rest of this game, it's going to look pretty tough for DK to find any more round wins.
As a medic myself, I've always looked up to Medaway as a medic who never makes mistakes. But on the other side, we see Nursey not afraid to risk making those mistakes, but it always works out. She really knows how to work these Ubers, and she's definitely keeping her team in the battle here.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what she's doing is kind of somewhere between either you're going to look really stupid and like you made a horrible decision, or you're going to look like a genius. And right now, she's looking like a genius, though Vipa doing a good job. Taking down Vanilla Love does take down the Heavy. But we'll see what the Kids can do right now, as the point is going to have the ability to be captured. Split also doing a great job. I love his playstyle. So aggressive, just getting onto any DK player who's trying to get close to the point. Ender's going to get taken out as well. But Etney from behind, he wants to get onto the medic. He did take down ODB, but ultimately he's going to get taken out. We'll see what the Kids can do right now, as DK did back up to go deal with Etney.
Ooh, we saw a great follow-up from Yosh, getting the snipe off onto Medaway. Now this is going to have a couple players going in for Nursey here. Bobby tries to get the jump off, not quite able to seal the deal. Vipa is behind enemy lines right now, but on a solid 14 health, he goes down as well. So this is going to give the mid capture, at least mostly cleanly, to the Kid.
So I think they have to regret that they didn't take it a little bit sooner, because that's the amount of time, or there's like at least what, like 20 seconds that point went down where nobody was capturing it. So the Kids will come down with it. They do have the Uber advantage, but DK, it looks like they just want to get aggressive right now as they're getting behind the point. They're going to try to work into the pool side, as actually I think that's 5 players trying to push, and they're trying to push out Etney, and they do just that. Split's going to also have to leave as well. So we'll see what they can do, DK, once they have taken over that pool side. Of course, Nursey's still holding on to that 100%. They're not going to use it aggressively, it would seem, but DK is going to try to aggress this point for free.
And yeah, it looks like Nursey's not going to use her Uber to try and take out Medaway before he gets his. Medaway is now actually working towards the point. ODB and Carl taking a lot of solid ground here. the players of the kids have to work up from sort of behind the game. Vanilla Love went down to half health. Viper is the only one who goes down on the side of DK, and we have a war of attrition going on both staircases on the point.
And it's like trench warfare all over again. They read their World War I textbooks, but we'll see if USA can come out on top again. It looks like DK is going to be able to get this point. They have not even popped the super. They're just kind of baiting the kids to be able to do this, and finally they do come down with the point, but the kids pop off the Uber. This time it is going to be better, just ever slightly so in the favor of DK. No frags really coming out during the actual Uber process. Only the flank side is going to be happening, and it looks like DK is going to lose this, as the kids is going to instantly retake that point back.
We have a very strong 2K coming out of board here onto Vanilla Love and onto Feint. We saw the flank of the kids just sort of went off when that Uber was popped. It really filled up that kill feed, and while the Ubers more or less went evenly, the flank of the kids are what brought it over the line. Split doing a lot of good work, Etney working very well together with him. We see Spamfest right now trying to bring it back, trying to prove his worth as well, pressuring across the point. And this actually now has uncontested ×4. Looks like they're going to get pressured back, but what pressure this is coming out of Bathhouse.
This is a wonderful job coming out of DK right now. They have 3 players sitting inside of pool, and it is working out wonderfully for them. Being able to get a sentry gun in that area, as Nursey is going to get forced off here. Bobby actually doing a nice job with the help of board. They actually picked up 3 frags together in rapid succession. They're going to get one more. Split goes down. Nursey's going to get taken out. Spamfest with a beautiful meat shot onto her. And this is looking very good for DK. And I mean, it all comes again back to that pool control. The fact that they had 3 players in there, they were able to take the point for free, and then they aggressed from the backside and were able to pinch the kids and able to kill Nursey and everybody else. Just a fantastic job out of DK as they continue to control this point, but are currently down 30 seconds.
And now we see both teams, neither team has Uber, so this is going to be actually a little bit favorable for the side of the kids because they have those shorter spawn times. So they're able to work forward here. Vanilla Love taking down Bobby, no questions asked. If they come in here and work these trades, it's going to work out better for the kids. And Medawee is just getting his Uber now, about to drop Carl. The Uber comes out, but all the players on DK are dead.
Yeah, it's only going to be 3 players forward, and that's a combo classes. They have to be careful, as Etney is way behind them currently in the cave side. Split's going to be pushing forward, does take out Carl for free, but the big thing here is at least Medaway did keep his life, and so he's not going to... They did use Uber, but I'm kind of even questioning that pop. I think it might have been better for Medaway just to back off completely, give up the point. You know you're not going to get it, and then you can recontest, back up with 100%, but either way, it's no use debating over the past. We'll see how DK can handle the future, as it looks like the kids are going to be taking control at this point. They also do have the advantage right now. It looks like DK wanting to take over the pool side again.
And again, we're seeing such beautiful dynamic play. If they don't have the point, they're taking Bathhouse both sides here. So now DK doesn't have that point. They're working up through the stairs. ODB actually gets taken down. That's going to put a big red light, put a big red stop sign right in front of that push. But we see again, they realize how strong it is to pinch from the Bathhouse. So in this time, they don't have the point. Vibe actually is able to get off Yosh. That's going to give them a little bit of room here. But Nursey still has a full Uber.
And here comes off the Uber right now. Giraffe opening up, getting a frag onto Carl. The point did go back in the favor of DK. They've been waiting for that, but Medaway finally does pop it back off. 20% more to go as Spamfest trying to use everything again. Does take down Giraffe, so no demo man for the kids right now as DK retake back the point. A minute left on the clock as Bobby going all the way forward. He is going to take down Yosh finally onto the backside, but Nursey kept her life, and I think we've only seen maybe 1 medic death through the first 3 rounds, and that's just absolutely insane, especially on a Koth map.
Oh, absolutely. You know, with this map, it's so strong to play across the point because it gives you such high ground, but then you're a sniper side line, so there's a very fine line between the two. And again, we have one of those, neither team has Uber, so let's just push forward kind of plays. Yo's taking down Spades, Etney working in that Bathhouse, and that's actually going to give full Bathhouse control to the kids. Carl, the only one contesting it here, and he even goes down for it.
Etney did get taken out, so usually Etney, he's been the main perpetrator of the flank to be able to lead that charge, so they're not going to have him, but that's not going to stop the kids from pushing across the point. Split has been doing a great job of being able to do that forward control. As Uber comes off from ODB, he's going to be pushing off, but Nursey, of course, again, is going to have that better Uber, about 60%, so Split going all the way forward. He gets onto Medaway, takes him down, no heals up for the DK side, only 5 players alive now, and most of them are going to be the respawns. Point going back in the favor of the kids, but with 0 seconds left on the clock for DK, they just need to cap it once, and they will win this round, as it currently is tied up 1-1 on this first map.
You know, it's times like this, Sigafoo, I like to see that quick fix. You know you're not going to get a charge out. And, yep, there she blows. Spamfest working very fast across the point. ODB following up here. Spamfest goes down very low, down to 16 health. Bobby takes a huge bomb in to try and open it up. That's going to turn Vanilla Love and a lot of the players around. The numbers working for the kids here, but TK is able to work on the point, but a wonderful trap from Giraffe. Takes down Spades, takes down Carl. Meadoway gets stabbed as well. Spamfest, Viper, they're all going down, Sigafoo.
It was such a beautiful play coming out from the kids. It kind of seemed like the countdown of the clock of 3, 2, 1 was the launch code for the kids to be able to push back across the point. As soon as you saw the call happen inside of chat, I mean, I wish you guys had the perspective I did, because you just saw all of the kids players flood just onto the point at the same time, and they just absolutely annihilated DK. That's going to give it 2-1 in the favor of the kids, and they're looking very strong right now, as that's 2 rounds straight, 1 more round, and we are going to be going into Steel. Else DK take it, we'll put it into the golden cap, as we're playing 1 half of Koth. But we'll see what can happen right now, as Spamfest should go down here early in this mid-fight.
Giraffe getting taken down very low as well. We don't quite see the pressure coming in from ODB yet, because right now Meadowy, ODB, and Carla are the only ones remaining on this side of Obelisk. Right now the kids trying to work their numbers advantage, having a solid 2 players up, but Boris says, well, how about I give you 2 right back, taking down Vanilla Love and Faint.
Yeah, DK pushing across the point right now, Carl leading the charge, and they're going to easily be able to take this. Yosh does at least take him down as Giraffe returning in kind with this Uber charge, but Meadoway only at 70%. Actually, sorry, he did pop his off. He went down to half HP. They are able to push back across this point. Down goes Giraffe, and this is going to allow DK to hold on to this point and are looking pretty strong right now, as they have complete pool control as well as point. But we haven't really seen too many teams doing an aggressive style of hold, and Bobby and Spamfest are holding very forward right now. And they're going to run into the kids combo.
The only aggressive hold you can really mount on this map is if you hold sort of the aggressive Bathhouse Ruins area. Bor getting a very nice snipe onto Giraffe, by the way. But yeah, I'm with you, Sigafoo. We've definitely seen these teams playing around their sniper, making the enemies come to them, and fighting on their own terms. We see no one really wants to get too far forward. Now Viper takes on Yosh as well. So, you know, it really comes down to these snipers here and the spot to know it.
And the big thing, too, I think, is the soldiers as well, as Bobby is currently down for DK, and you can see there's 5 players currently sitting inside a pool. They're trying to work it over. Actually, Carl is going to be caught in here in a very awkward spot as he's between. He's going to get focused down eventually. Vanilla Love's trying to kill him for free, but Carl somehow keeping his life. Finally does get taken out on a 15-second respawn, as Giraffe is going to get the Uber popped off onto him, and it's going to be returned in kind from the DK side, as we're doing a little bit of a wrapping situation. ODB's trying to work his way into pool, but he's just going to get pushed out. The kids currently down 1:20 already in this round, as Meadoway gets taken out. Etney with a beautiful bomb in, as the kids are going to be able to take back this point.
Initially, I was really wondering what the kids were going for with that push. You know, it's a very strong Uber if you're able to come in from that high ground on Ruins on the enemy side. But then they just went back into Bathhouse, using half their Uber to just rotate. And then the Uber was over by the time they were ready to go back into point. But that being said, again, Etney, the flank players on the side of the kids going off and really keeping their team in this fight.
Right now, DK is trying to push right back up onto the point. Nursey is about a 50% advantage right now, so you have to be careful about that. This actually wouldn't be a bad time to push, maybe to try to catch Nursey before she's able to get to up to 100%, but taking down ODB. Yosh with a beautiful headshot, and that's going to slow down this push out of DK as they pick up one more. Down goes Spades. Carl's going to get taken out, and no more flank classes as the Uber charge is still being held onto by Nursey. And so they're in a very good spot right now as they continue to hold on to this point, but they need to keep doing this as they're down about 45 seconds in terms of time.
Oh yeah, we saw, you know, I bet Giraffe's thanking his very long neck here, because he was getting so far across point without really having to overcommit himself. He was getting a frag after frag, putting in the damage, letting his teammates clean it up. He almost single-handedly held off that push, and that's going to now reset DK as they have that even Uber.
Looks like DK does want to push up through this pool side. Has been spotted out from the kids, but they haven't opted to really rotate too many players over to it, as a couple of the flank classes now are rotating over to the point side, as Spamfest trying to lead the charge split, returning in kind from the scout side. We'll see what they can do, as Vanilla Love is just kind of contesting back and forth, but here comes Carl finally taking control of pool. They're doing a lot of aggression. Uber comes out as they're trying to chase players down. Nursey still holding on to that 100%. Comes out as Giraffe is going to be taking down Spades onto the flank. And right now the kids are trying to defend this, and they're actually not looking too bad, but DK is finally going to aggress back across point, easily clean it back up, and are going to take the lead in terms of time in a few seconds.
Whew. Oh, Vipa with a Batman stab onto Giraffe and then snipes Ender in the face. This is going to give a little bit of room here for DK. Boar is currently down while Yoshi's working in from that bathhouse ruins area. Viper getting taken down. Looks like 4 times in my feed his name came up. 2 dominations and then a feign. So now with Boar and Viper down, this is going to really let the kids work forward here and pressure the point, but they're taking their sweet time here.
Yeah, they are definitely taking their time, but they finally will get up there. Ender getting a pistol kill onto the heavy. I love it. I love seeing the pistol. It's not used by a lot of engineers, but I've always been a big fan of it. Feint is currently behind the medic, but is cloaked. Uber comes out from the DK side. They're going to push in the pool. They want to clean them up. Nursey does have 100%. I don't know if they were expecting that, but they're going to find Lazy pushing straight back into him. DK rolling, I'm sorry, the kids rolling out onto the point, trying to get some damage down. Bobby's going to get taken out here. Finally does, but Spamfest pushing in as everybody was looking over to the other side. Nursey is still alive, but being chased down. Billy Soares gets the flare. Draft's going to get cleaned up as well as DK holds on to this point. 20 seconds left, and DK is looking to tie this game up.
Man, what a cleanup from Billy Soares there. That was so strong out of Medaway with the Uber into Bathhouse. They knew the kids were priming their push, and they decided to take the fight to them in that awful position, and they body blocked the point. So now this means that the kids are going to have to work in here. No Uber. Vanilla Love gets torn apart. Giraffe's annihilated. Etna goes down. Yosh as well. No one down on the side of DK.
Vipa right behind the medic does get caught off there by Lazy with the point running away. Overtime is done, and it is going to go in the favor of DK. It is 2-2, and we're going into the golden cap here in the very first map. And this is just one map in the best of 3. You guys have a great game to look forward to as we're going to come out to the final mid-fight, the 5th mid-fight, and we'll see who will come out on top.
We see ODP getting to mid a little bit faster here. Spamfest pressuring across the point, but decides to wisely back off so you don't get sniped too quick. Feint's working in towards that obelisk. Goes for the stab onto Spamfest, not going to get anything. This is actually going to give Split enough room to work forward, but Boar takes down Giraffe.
Right now, I'm trying to see who it's going to be favoring. It looks like DKs. They currently have 3 frags in their favor. Lazy trying to push forward, but he's not going to get a frag. As Feint does take down Carl. Nursey actually gets a stab onto Vipa, so might have helped out her a little bit. She's down to 26 HP, able to get back to full health. Both medics will be up to 100%, but the point goes back in the favor of DK, and they've been doing a pretty good job. I mean, this is what I love, is you kind of see teams adjusting, and right now, again, it seems like DK is doing a good job of adjusting. Spamfest is holding aggressively on the cave side, and I think this is the first time we're going to see a team push out from lower underneath balcony, which is the traditional way I've seen teams push out, but I guess it's been changing. But now Boar, oh my god, gets a headshot onto Draft, and he's looking hot right now as he's on a 3K.
He even got another snipe up onto Lazy just to send a message, but it doesn't quite seal the frag. Now, the teams are going to have even Ubers here, but the kids lose so many, they just retreat back to spawn. Let's keep our medics safe. Let's wait for our respawns. Just try again. It's only 20 seconds off the clock. Let's just be cool about this and not overextend.
The kids are going to try to push up from the cave side. That's traditionally how we've seen the teams being pushed out. Nursey's going to cross the divide, does go across that sniper sideline, going to try to do it again. Doesn't get sniped yet, as they do have 100%. They're starting to work their way up right now, trying to do anything, as Billy Soares does get taken out by Giraffe before any of the Ubers are coming off. Spamfest is currently behind the enemy team of the blue side of kids. We'll see what they can do. Is it looks like DK is going to pop off very early here. A little bit of a questionable choice. Maybe they just wanted to make sure they could get out alive, but this is going to put the kids in a very good position to take this point for free. More frags coming out in the favor of the kids, and now Medaway just has to be careful that he doesn't get caught in here, as he had so many players go down around him.
We saw DK went into Bathhouse to meet the kids when they pushed up through that tunnel, but the kids rotated to the floor and pushed from the stairs, and DK were just sitting in the room. They realized how bad of a position that is for them, since they had pretty much their whole team in that small door. But definitely too little too late. They drop a lot of players and they don't have the ground. But right here, the kids are more or less giving DK this point capture.
Carl's leading the charge, doing a great job, goes down incredibly low. Nilov trying to contest this, but the point finally does go back in the favor of DK. They're leading by a minute, but they're losing players, and Borg goes down as well. Oh my gosh, Medaway going down incredibly low. Feint on the medic, you're trying to get a pissed off, does clean him up. And that's going to give the advantage to Nursey 100% as the kids come back down with the point, have the Uber advantage, and they're looking really good. But oh, Spamfest onto the medic. Nursey going down to half HP. He's getting popped way up in the air, and Lazy does his job, gets the flare off, protecting Nursey, keeping her alive as the kids control the point. We'll see if they can take the lead, but it's going to be a little while as it's still 60 seconds before they get the advantage.
Ooh, these players are hungry for those med picks. It almost looked like the soda popper Spamfest was so high in the air. And now we see another one of those pushes into the bathhouse. When you don't have the point, Vipa and Bobby get taken down very quickly, actually. Oh, that being said, just a feint out of Vipa. But Spamfest does go down. That's real. So there's going to be no flank for the side of DK as they're trying to work their way back in here with uber disadvantage.
And Feint's going to get caught out again, using that Dead Ringer to get away. As Nursey does have that 100%, I'm sure she knows that they do have the advantage, but maybe they're just worried that Metaway is going to get out. Draft is peeking across the point, does get Metaway down to half HP, but Carl doing a lot of damage onto the point, does get cleaned up from the pool side, but they do lose Vanilla Love as well as Draft early on here, and now Nursey has to be careful. Times one onto the point as they're doing everything they can. Split trying to run across, trying to go for Metaway, chasing him down through the main. Metaway going down incredibly low, does get taken out. Nursey is the only one alive left for her team. As no, she's going to get taken out as well. Split is still behind enemy lines. And so, despite using that Uber to take down the medic, that ultimately trades out her life, and that's going to give Metaway just a slight advantage here. Nothing to really write home about, as it's just going to be a couple percent. But a little bit of a questionable play coming out of Nursey. I think that's one of the first questionable decisions we've seen this game from her.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. But I really personally have to give so much credit to ODB. He really took that push by the horns, getting a solid 4 picks and a lot of pressure out for his team. Right now, Yoshi's a little, what's the word, privy? Is that the word? He's on to what ODB is up to and takes him out very quickly. I'm not an English major, unfortunately, or fortunately, but anyway, the kids are working back in here. DK are holding their position in the bathhouse. They know that neither team has Uber. I actually like this a lot. Right now what they're doing is they're letting their respawns come in, and they know the spawns are a lot worse for the kids. So it looks like they're not quite winning the fight in bathhouse. ODB comes in and helps. But now this is going to give a little bit more of a clean push despite being at Uber this end.
They did lose Giraffe inside of that pool area, and so that's going to allow DK to push across the point and allow ODB to get a little bit of an advantage. Yoshi's also down for another 10 seconds, so you don't have to worry about the demo. You don't have to worry about the sniper, but you do have to worry about the Uber Pyro, who's trying to do everything he can. Metaway is going to be able to get his Uber popped off in time, not able to lose any players. DK has everybody alive right now as Carl pushing across the point. They should be able to come down with the capture, but how many frags will go in their favor as well? They get a couple more, but Nursey's able to get out alive, going down to 100 HP, but nothing too risky. Feint going for a play, but he's going to get caught out again. Both spies are not able to have much success today, and we'll see if that changes early on here. But Giraffe picking up an early frag, taking down Boar, and that's going to give a little bit of comfort, as it looks like we're getting into just a little bit of stuttering. But right now, the kids are in a good spot because they don't have to worry about being sniped by Boar.
What a heads-up play for the kids. I was so anxious there. We saw Nursey, Giraffe, and Split pushing in more or less alone on the Lakeside of point, but they just didn't die. They were somehow turning the kills. The respawn's coming in, and now they have so much point control. They're going to have to take 30 seconds off the clock if they're able to steal this capture, and both teams are about to come up on even Ubers.
And now time goes into overtime for DK. They just need one more point capture, and this map will be theirs. Else the kids, all they need to do is waste 17 more seconds, and the point will be theirs. Both medics have 100% right now. It all comes down to this. Looks like Carl as well as Billy Soros pushing through the pool. Carl gets taken out early right now. Metaway is going to be pushing across the point with ODB. Bobby going up very high. 5 seconds ticking down as K&D is trying to contest this point. Engineer actually coming in from behind, but the frags are going in the favor right now of the kids. They're trying to do everything they can, but with the Engineer leading the charge as well as ODB still keeping his life. Nursey trying to get across, does get taken out. Split trying to win these 1v1s, but it's not going to be enough. Lazy coming in, getting to 1k, getting 2k, gets Metaway down incredibly low, but Carl with all the HP gets backstep from Feint, and Yoshi gets a headshot. Are you kidding me right now? But Bobby coming in as well as the Scout and getting taken down. It's just the Scout versus Giraffe onto the point. The Pyro Billy Source is going to come in to help it out. They're going to take it down, but Vanilla Love on the backside gets pushed back, and DK somehow comes away with this round.
Oh man, are you awake now, Sigafoo? How's that for a first map? I am astounded with what we're seeing here. That was insane. And you know what? It really comes down to there, like we said before, with these King of the Hill maps, whoever does not have the point has the better spawns. So while the fight was just barely going in the favor of the kids, the DK side gets the spawners faster. They're able to come back into the point, able to keep fighting for it, and such hero plays coming out of both sides at the very end when it matters most.
I gotta kind of question Nursey running across the point there, trying to get the melee kill when she had other people. I'm not sure, maybe she was at like 75% and she was just like hoping for a miracle stab to be able to get an Uber's charge off, but I felt like maybe playing passive and trying to heal up your players might have helped out a little bit more, as it ended up being such a back and forth. Having those extra little heals might have been the decider, but great job coming out of DK as they are going to take the first map. as my heart rate is trying to lower right now. I don't know if you can tell how hard I'm trying to talk at a normal pace, but I'm trying really, really hard, as that was an incredibly crazy end to that round. And that's going to mean that we're going to be moving on to CP Steel, to my understanding. And we can take some logs here. I'm going to grab them up myself, and I can pass them if you don't have them already. But I'm very curious to see some of the different stat lines. In particular, I want to see medic deaths, because I got to feel like they're crazy low.
Ooh, I happen to have linked the stats in Mumble, but you might be a little surprised here, sigafoo, because I was very inclined to agree with you. But looking at the stat line here, Nursey has 6 deaths to Medaway's 11 deaths. That's almost a double.
Wow. Yeah, I guess. I mean, Nursey was caught out. I think in particular, I think most of those deaths came out in the final round, though. I think if you look at just the first, like, if you look at the first, like, 2.5 rounds, I bet you she only has 3 deaths. But we saw her die a few times. We saw her die at the end. We saw her die with that bad Uber pop. That was 2 of the deaths, right, at least. And so, but I mean, but yeah, I guess Medaway, as you said, it does have more deaths than that. And I'm trying to look through here. As Vipa was messaging me, he was like, "Oh my god, that ending! I am breathing so heavily right now." I think these players have not switched over the map yet, as we will be moving on this deal, just because I think they're all trying to believe. That was one of the longest fights I've ever seen in this game. I mean, that was crazy. The number of times I've seen that happen is very few, and I have so many hours inside of Highlander. It's just amazing. I mean, the other thing that's kind of standing out to me is ODB doing such a great job getting out such high damage. But the amazing thing is the closest person to him on his team is going to be Boar sniping, going crazy. But I guess Yosh is right there, only about 1,000 points behind.
It's so interesting to me here. We have 9 players within 3 kills of each other. So that's half the players in the server got almost the exact same amount of kills. We also see the kids got 20 more total kills and about 2,000 more total damage. So the DM looks like it's working in the way of the kids, but maybe the team play, maybe the fewer roster, or actually, DK happens to have more roster shakeups, but maybe, a little recently, I think Splits hasn't been playing so long on Scout. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, we're seeing such impressive map knowledge from DK, and I guess that's what took it over the line, because it wasn't kills or damage.
And just looking at the stats right now, I was kind of curious about like who is getting the sniper kills. And that's one thing, because we, ever since the Razorback has been banned in UGC, we've been seeing the Spy doing a lot more work when it comes to taking down the sniper, and it's really helped speed up the game slightly, because you don't have to worry about the snipers as much if your Spy can keep them down. And between Boar and Vipa, the Spy and Sniper, 17 frags onto Yosh, and Feint and Yosh, the Sniper and Spy for the kids, only have 11 frags. So that 6 frag difference can make, all the difference in the world. I mean, even just getting stabbed and killed by the Spy, is just a great way to kind of keep the other Sniper just a little bit on tilt, because you can never really set your feet anymore. If you're consistently being killed by the Sniper, it's so hard, I feel like, to keep in that mindset of like setting your feet. I think that's such a skill. It's kind of like a quarterback, in the NFL, who keeps getting sacked, and then he starts to get a little bit wary and is not able to keep his focus down the field because he's worried about getting hit again. As we are moving on to Steel, the map is changing right now. I'm excited as we move on here, but I mean, is there any other kind of stat lines that we haven't talked about that are kind of interesting to you from this last round of Lakeside?
I was actually thinking a little more about those medic deaths as a medic player myself, and there was something I really liked to see that was happening during the game, where when Nursey's team was going forward, maybe they were at dissad or they weren't sure how the fight was going to go, Nursey, when she decided it was soon time for her to leave, she would have Split come right over to her, and when it was time for them to back out, first Nursey would get that speed boost from healing the Scout and be able to run straight back towards spawn. But then, if anything jumped at them, you have either the best or the second best class to deny those bombers, with the Scout right next to you, and he has a beam on him full time. So that helped her get out of so many fights, get out of so many sticky situations. Whereas Medaway, when he worked forward, sometimes his team would go in, maybe a fight would go well or not so well, but he would just end up getting caught out and not really able to escape, because maybe not having such a heads-up idea like Nursey did.
So we'll see if the medics can do any better when it comes to this round. And as we are moving on to Steel, Rogue, was your team able to play Steel this season?
Oh, this is a little embarrassing, Sigafoo, but you know what? I don't remember. I might have to I might have to check.
All of the years just blend together. The TF2.
Yeah.
I'm getting so old, Sigafoo. I'm all of like 20. What are you, 23 right now?
A little lower, buddy.
20? How? 21?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're a youngin. Man, I'm the old timer, but I think it's not that uncommon. I'm 29, so I'm getting up there. I'm starting to look like the weirdo, still playing video games. But goddamn, I love it. And I mean, especially after watching that last round, after it went into double overtime, essentially, just absolutely insane. Great matchup and something. I mean, if that continues on to Steel, God, this is going to be a great night. As also, I mean, this is not even the grand finals yet. We still have a little ways to go for that. But coming into this map, I mean, we were talking about Steel a little bit before in the pregame, as we're getting ready for that. I mean, what are your? I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about your thoughts on Steel. Do you think and you said that you think DK has the advantage on Steel. Why do you think DK has the slight advantage when it comes to Steel?
Initially, what I thought before that map, anyway. Thank you, Vox. I actually just checked. We did not play Steel, but Voxlite comes in letting me know that we did not play Steel this season. But anyway, why did I have DK taking this map? Well, the calling is pretty strong on both sides. Giraffe just so happens to be the best main caller in the game, but Carl is very confident, especially on this map. So it's a very unwavering kind of main caller. Just lets his team know what the objective is at any given time and lets them have the freedom to do what they please with it. And that being said, the DM does tend player for player to be better on the side of DK. But after that last map, Sigafoo, I'm not really going to be so sure. We saw the stat lines. The kids out DM'd DK. We also see how strong the team play is on the side of the kids. A lot of these players working so well together, you know, Etney and Split working well together, Nursey and Lazy, even Vanilla Love and Giraffe following up on each other. So this is really a toss-up for me. Before that map, I would say DK probably takes this. Now, I really don't know.
You know, it's funny is I'm like, okay, well, you know what I think is going to decide this map is I think it's going to be decided by the flank classes. So I'm like, all right, let me go look at the teams. Let me go see, you know, how their flank classes did last round. Split, 26 frags, 10,000 damage. Spamfest, 27 frags, 10,000 damage. All right, okay, so let's look at the soldiers. All right, Etney, 21 kills, 9,000 damage. Bobby, 23 kills, 9,000 damage. Okay, well, maybe the engineers will make the difference. Ender at 23 frags and 9,000 damage, and Spades at 20 frags and 8,000 damage. So I'm going to give it to the blue side. I'm going to give it to the kids purely because of the engineer play. But no, I mean, it's just like, it's so, that's what I think is so amazing, that it's not even like there's somebody who stands out drastically than the other team. You know, like, it's not even like, okay, well, there's this one player who's just outplaying his part. The only person who can really say is that Carl, I mean, one interesting stat line, I think, is that Carl has only 13 frags compared to Vanilla Love's 23 that last game. But Carl did 500 more damage. That's kind of like, that's like Demoman stats right there, where you just have like an insane amount of damage, but you don't get a lot of frags out of it. I guess maybe it's just the way that DK was maybe baiting him a little bit. He did kind of get into weird spots where he's getting caught out a few times, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're getting out the damage. Just kind of a question. I mean, he does have 22 assists, so his team is cleaning up on it, but I mean, I'm just trying to look for like what's a differentiator. I mean, Lazy got a ton of frags, but not that much more damage, and you know, that kind of seemed like some of the W play. I mean, honestly, this is so utterly neck and neck that this is amazing. This is the TF2 I want to see. This is exactly what I wanted out of this game, and it's already fulfilled. And I mean, look, that final round was back and forth, and then that crazy ending. God, I love it. I love this game. Hopefully you guys are loving it. Toss out in chat, who do you think is going to take this map, DK or Kids? But I mean, have you revised it? Do you still think it's going to be DK, or do you think the kids are going to be able to win through and put it to a third map?
Man, this is really putting some pressure on me. Normally, I'm not afraid to make those predictions, but my intelligence level isn't high enough to come up with an answer here. If I have to just go with my gut, I feel like the kids are going to take this just by a sheer power of will, Sigafoo. So that's really all I have right now.
Well, see, I mean, they definitely did look more coordinated than the DK side. The pushes and the way they kind of handled some different situations, I think they had a little bit better coordination than DK. But I mean, DK won it. I mean, they obviously did a good job. And I mean, I think I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, to make any prediction, I think would be a bit ignorant just because of how goddamn close it is that it's, you know, I wouldn't want to put any of my money down because I'd be afraid of losing it just by how close it is. But we'll see what happens. We're going up over 100 viewers right now. Thank you for everybody who is tuning in, coming out here. We're up a little bit higher as everybody was listening to me not breathe during the double overtime. I feel like that was I'm curious to go back and watch that to see if I actually took a breath at any point, but I'm guessing I didn't. But hopefully we'll have some more moments like that. And Steel can kind of lead to that in a map because it kind of lead to some interesting plays where, you know, you push for E at the last second. I mean, do you have a particular style of, you know, offense that you like to play Steel as, Rogue?
My strategy personally, and I think the strategy of a lot of teams actually, is you go for the alphabet push, A, B, C, D, E, but if at any point an opportunity arises to stray from that path, you instantly take it. So if maybe you just got B and you say, okay, now it's time to get C, but your flankers say, hey, by the way, E's half capped and no one's here. Then you say, oh, never mind, everyone turn around. Let's go follow that up. So what's great about seeing these two teams as well is the communication is the best we have in this game, at least in this game mode. But we're going to be seeing a lot of these flankers working hard. We're going to see a lot of the combo players reacting to what's happening in the world around them. And it's going to be so dynamic too, because even if you think you have a strategy for offense, you know, there's 9 human beings on the other side that have their own ideas of what's happening, you know, your opponents. So with whatever you have in mind, it has to change at some point based on what the enemies decide to do out the gate and how they decide to counter what you're doing.
And I gotta say that when it comes to, it looks like they just got started in real time, so not too much long from now, guys. We will be able to bring you the start of this. When it comes to the defensive side, I personally really enjoy when it comes to like kind of an aggressive B hold, but it's the really interesting thing about Steel is you really need your flank and your combo to like work in coordination, but like opposite each other. You know, you really need to be able to have your flank be able to play away from your combo, be able to shut down different sight lines, but at the same time, you need sometimes your flank to come in and help your combo deny a point. But the biggest thing for this map, I think, more than anything else, is communication and understanding what your team wants to do. Because I've seen teams get caught out because a surprise E-push happens because nobody called that the combo or had eyes that the combo was pushing a direction than what you thought. And, you know, when you have 9 players sitting inside of Mumble, it can make it just that much harder to make sure that key information is coming across, that everybody's listening and reacting to it. And I think this is one map in particular where it really comes down to the Mumble comms, as we should get going live here. We have everybody in server, everybody on the teams. The kids versus KD, I'm sorry, the kids versus DK. Not KD, not KD. DK. As we should get started up here. And looks like the kids are going to be starting out on the defensive side, and we'll see what they want to do when it comes to the setup.
Sigafoo, have you ever happened to hear the Kids of Destiny speech from S-Dog?
God, I don't think so.
All right, well,
a
couple, this is for everyone as well, a couple seasons ago, I think this was the first season K&D ever got into the grand finals, S-Dog gave them a speech where it was so motivational. Actually, if someone wouldn't mind linking it in the chat for me, I think everyone would really enjoy it. But basically, he goes on to explain how their team works together, and goes on to explain the team, where he says the spy is the eyes of the team, and the flank is the arms of the team, and the medic is the heart of the team, and explains all the body parts like that. So I think CP Steel is really where that comes together. You talk about having those eyes, you know, we see Feint cloaked on the B point, on the A point right now, just spotting out what we have, and then we have the heart of the team keeping down that B hold, and setting up here, just making sure there's no early aggression, making sure they don't die. It's a really good speech.
No, I like that. And right now, currently, the point A is going to go down in the favor of DK, as this is, when it comes to Steel, A point is almost never contested. It's just a giveaway point, because to hold it is so incredibly difficult. You can see the combo's already holding. And currently, the combo of the kids is holding very aggressively, with the Nursey having her back against the wall. This is kind of a hold style which the kids actually kind of brought into the meta, if you will. As a level 3 Sentry Gun trying to be focused down. Vipa did get caught out there, so no Spy to be able to make a play, or Sap, as a couple more frags going in the favor of the kids. The Sentry Gun gets pulled back as ODB is trying to push forward. Nursey milking her Uber so long, doesn't even pop it yet, goes down incredibly low as she got caught in there. Spades did a good job to not allow her to hold on to it, as she is down to 33 HP, does get a sandwich to get healed back up, as the kids are going to continue to hold on to this, but we'll see if DK wants to push this aggressively off Uber.
I don't know what that was about. You know, what makes that hold so strong is you have your combo on the floor, able to contest the door, then you have either a heavy or a soldier or both in that upper platform, stopping anyone from coming above you. But we saw Vipa come in completely for free and almost drop Nursey right out the gate. And then the rest of the DK players came flowing in here as the Nursey gets taken down by Bobby. Ender goes down as well. What a 2K.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues. What happens is when you are using your Wrangler, it does allow those bombs to come in completely uncontested. It was a high bomb, so it's questionable about whether it would have been caught or not, but that's also because Boar is currently running the Jarate, and Nursey did have the Jarate on her, so that allowed it to speed up a little bit. Lazy did get one reflect. Or I'm sorry, not Lazy. It was with Lazy. Lazy did get a reflect of Bobby, but wasn't able to get the second rocket, just mistimed it a little bit. So the B point is currently going down in the favor of DK at minute 46. Extremely fast time, as they also do have 100%, so we'll see what they want to do with it, because they have quite the sizable advantage right now.
And a lot of times teams will opt, as a defensive team, they'll opt to hold this wishbone area, this BCE connector, whatever you prefer to call it. But we saw the kids opting to just completely remove themselves. Now they're not able to contest E as a combo here. So look, just now they decide to go back in. They don't even have the Uber to speak for. Vanilla Love is down, Ender's down, Yosh is down, and E is out more than halfway capped right now.
Yeah, this is a really good job. Nursey got a little bit antsy trying to push back in there. And now she's going to go down, and she gets taken down by the flare. The point, Ender did get the frag on his FanFest as Uber comes off from the Pyro. Nobody's on E currently to capture this. I'm trying to see if anybody's even alive who could do that. Maybe the Pyro with the Power Jack. But it looks like DK and the kids are going to be able to contest this. Engineer gets pushed into the pit. It's just the Pyro trying to reflect it ×1 onto the point, but the kids should be able to defend this as ODB jumping in there as well, trying to get down the damage. Kids doing so much work, but down goes ODB. Pyro's going to jump off to get some health. Scout goes down. Bobby's back up, but right now the defense is coming out from the kids, and they're holding on to this point. But Carl is not capping. See, he's standing back there, but looks like he's just playing it safe. I'm not exactly sure why they're not trying to go for the cap of C while this E point's being completely focused.
And look at that with Vipa, this new Spy speed boost, able to hop right onto E, but gets just barely nudged off that point and falls to his doom. And we saw actually at the towards the beginning of that capture, Bobby happened to miss his rocket on the ledge and just hopped into the pit. And with E being something like 93% cap, you have to wonder if that'll make a difference, especially if he happens to be on that pain train that some soldiers tend to prefer.
And Nursey got taken out by Boar, so that's going to put her actually, and that's the thing you have to really be aware of, is the defensive side. Look at the respawn timers. They're so incredibly important. I talk about respawns, but they're so important. Nursey got put on a 25-second respawn wave. That's absolutely an insane amount of time to have to wait before he can come back to life. And now Medaway is going to have 100%. C point did go down for free as Uber is going to come across point. ODB has to be careful not to fall in, as well as Medaway, who's leading the charge. It's just them two. It's a little bit of a curious pushing in as ODB is going to go down. I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe some coordination coming out of DK for the first time, as just a Uber push of a Devilman's not really going to accomplish too much.
And especially because they had to cover so much distance. They popped the Uber just coming out of the doorway, then they had to run across the point, then they had to run all the way into the enemy side, and as soon as they got there, ODB just got blasted back, and Medaway had to back off. So I'm with you, Sigafoo. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, but right now they're trying to get control of the control room.
So we'll see what they can do. They are going into the control room right now. A lot of back and forth, but Nursey is going to come up to 100% right now. But actually, they do drop Carl. I'm sorry, that is going to be Vanilla Love right before it, as Lacey's going to try to lead the charge forward, but everybody's already out. Medaway is able to cure his life, as well as the 90%. They should be able to push back onto this, as Vipa is currently behind the enemy team, trying to work some picks, but Bobby going down. Or gets a headshot onto Draft, so no Devilman here, as we should see the Uber pop off from the DK side. They're getting aggressive, as Carl does pick up an early 2K, and Nursey went down. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead.
such strong pressure came out of DK in that little doorway, but none of them died crucially. And as they're getting that pressure forward, Viper is able to use that distraction, get the stab off onto Nursey. So this is going to more or less give DK that D capture. Actually, they believe so strongly that they're only leaving Carl, but at the same time, E is at ×6. And the kids are working in just now. The Uber comes out from Medaway onto Spamfest. Spamfest able to work back in here. Oh, boy.
Lazy pushing him into the pit, but Timestreak on to the point still. Regardless, DK should come down with this capture, and nice job. As 5 minutes and 52 seconds, where would you place that in terms of times? That fast, slow, average?
That, I would say that is pretty much on the line with that is a little bit fast. It gives, if you're the offensive team going into this now, it gives you a couple pushes onto each point, but now the question is, which points do you go for those pushes on? You know, we saw when DK was on that offensive side, they got B. Then they said, okay, let's work E for a while, doesn't work out. Let's work C, and it does work out. Let's work E again, doesn't work out. You know, so you sort of have to test the waters. But now that the kids are up against the clock, they have to be so resolute and really decide what they're going for.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of room for error in this situation, but I think the thing is that a lot of teams have to be careful that they still have a lot of time. I mean, 6 minutes isn't a lot of time, but it's enough time to still do the vitamin push or to try it. And I think a lot of teams, what happen is they get so frantic, they get so paranoid that they're not going to be able to do anything, that they tend to ultimately push incorrectly, or they try to make miracle plays rather than just playing it safe. You know, worry about it once you get there. Right now, as the A point is going to be going down for free in the favor of kids, as they're going to be working against the time of 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
Here we see Spade's sentry gun is a lot farther back than Ender's was, and we see Medaway holding in that sort of 2013, 2014 hold area where you play a little more on this ramp. The hold that was so far forward from Nursey happens to be my own personal favorite hold, but again, we didn't really see the full hold. They didn't have control of that high ground. So the DK side here, so you know what, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to hold really safe, make you guys come to us, make you peeky sight lines, and come into this low ground, and then we'll be nice and safe and have a strong Uber.
And Medaway got put down to 50 HP, able to get back to that level 3 dispenser and grab the little med pack to come up to full health. As right now, this is, DK playing it very safe, very, I wouldn't say traditional style, as every team kind of has their own way, but currently it is working out for them. Bobby using that black box, as looks like we have Yosh, Etney, as well as Ender, so 3 classes from the kids onto the back side, as Ender is actually getting a frag onto Boar. I love it. So that might open it up here for Yosh to be able to get some frags.
I was just about to point out how, you know, Vipa is seeing all this happening. He actually goes in and collapses onto Yosh, and the butter knives come out. What is this fight happening on E? I'm not even going to worry about that right now because a lot of the Uber's getting exchanged here. Excuse me. The DK side able to get the better of it. Keeping that high ground, Carl ends up going down for it, and we have a massive bump from Etney, takes down Medaway and ODB. So this is going to let the kids come right back in.
Yeah, this is a great job coming out of them. And all that was opened up partially because Viper got a stab sap onto level 3 sentry gun, so you didn't have to worry about that whatsoever. I mean, you got to be careful. If you're going to be kind of standing still against the wall, you can still be stabbed if the spy is on the correct side, and that's exactly what happened there. So Medaway going to be coming up in a couple seconds, but Nursey coming at about 60% Uber charge advantage, and this is looking very good for them right now. Giraffe is leading the charge. He's actually alone. He has to be careful not to get caught out here. Spamfest sees this, does take him down, and so no Demo Man here for this next push, as Split is using that bong to try to get some intel, but I'm not sure how much intel you need when your Demo Man is dead. It's gonna be hard to push out in this situation.
We see them sitting there with that Uber ad. They're playing a little close, getting really spammed out here by Bobby. And they're going to look to take this Uber back in, but now they got Giraffe back, but now they have to wait for Split. Etney goes down at the same time. That's someone you really want to be in these ad pushes, but Spades goes down.
Yeah, I want to say that was actually a trick stab onto Spades. So down that goes. That's always a little bit infuriating as an engineer to get that taken out on the E point. But while that's happening, kids pushing out onto the C point did use their Uber charge to come in here. But Medaway currently sitting up with the Demo Man is going to try to push back on here. Probably 95% has to make sure to keep his life, but a lot of pressure onto the C point. This is going to be hard to push back out onto, but they're going to do just that. Vipa's right behind the enemy team, tries to get some damage down to Nursey, down incredibly low. Spamfest cleaning up the charge as as he's going to come out. Vanilla Love going down incredibly low, and he's going to get taken out as DK is doing everything they can to try to push this. Meadoway was able to keep his life, and it looks like DK will also hold on to this point.
What a stronghold there coming out of Bobby and Spamfest. They were holding up by that C gate that leads to B. And as the kids were pushing through that small door, they were pressuring them out. They even got to pick off onto Yosh as soon as that push started. Then both of them make it way back and they get the health packs as they each had 20 health. And they were not only able to fight off half the kids, they were able to stay alive and then fight that re-push onto the point with the rest of their team.
So right now the kids are going to start to put some pressure onto that E point. They know they have to. There's only 2 minutes left in the clock. They can still do a little bit of a vitamin push, but they're going to play it. You want to at least start to get some pressure onto E point, because the reason that is that it does force the enemy team to have to deal with it, and then you might be able to get C for free, which is what happened last time with DK, but the kids do lose their scout early in this fight. Nursey, I'm sorry, is going to have to run away, as Meadoway did pop his Uber. Nursey got taken out from the back side, and so many frags going down in the favor of DK. This is pretty much their round to win. With a minute 30 left on the clock, the kids only have about one option left. That's going to go straight for the E point.
And man, what a strong showing out of DK there. I was pretty anxious, Sigafoo, because when you come in from E into the wishbone area, that BCE connector, it's very scary because a pyro can give you one puff and just drop your medic into the pit with his full Uber, and no one can save you and no one can hear you scream. But no one was looking at E, so we had the entire combo of DK with their full ad, not full ad, something like 20% ad only, come all the way in and clean up all of the kids.
Right now, the kids are trying to aggress onto the point. They don't have any capture time, but they need to get it. 40 seconds left is about, I mean, you need about 40 seconds just to capture the E point when you have this much time left, but Split is eating so much damage. Carl trying to push out here. His Ubercharge is going to come out. Nursey only at 95%, is dropping players left and right. It's just down to Giraffe as she's going to have to pop onto him eventually, and yes, she does, as Carl's going to go down. Meadoway is on a 20-second respawn. That's at least some silver lining, but with nobody to get onto the point, 20 seconds left and no capture time, I don't even think it's physically possible anymore for the kids to even be able to win this round.
You know, I was trying to rack my brain here. I'm pretty sure 30 seconds are the minimum. I actually just pulled it up, and it turns out, yes, I do in fact know everything. The times 5 is 30.6 seconds. So right now, there's definitely no hope. We even have Bobby hiding out in the pit, trying to maybe see if he can get a sick air shot, and then anyone who happens to wander in. But that's round 1 going to DK.
And a very strong showing, as you said. I mean, the kids definitely didn't look poor. I mean, they did take that first point of the B side, and that was, I just wanted to kind of speak back to the way that the kids were able to take that point, and it partially was taken because of the play of the flank classes of Ender the Engineer, as well as the Soldier Etni, and as well as the Spy play, kind of all coming together at the same time. We're able to really do a lot of work and to be able to create a distraction. And so as soon as the enemy team was looking forward, the kids were able to kind of pounce on that and kind of collapse. It's just this beautiful pinching motion that happened, as we do have logs up. And what are you seeing early on when you look at through the logs, Rogue?
It's almost beautiful to me, Sigafoo, because in that first map, we saw Carl was pretty far down on the kills, pretty high up on the deaths, especially for playing heavy. But what I saw a lot in that map was Carl would initiate the fights and then have the rest of his team come in. Now that it's a little more close quarters map, we see Carl going 16-5, top fragging in the server. Vanilla Love way at the bottom, tying for last place in frags except for medics, going 3-9.
Wow, that is impressive for Heavy to do so much work. And I mean, as you said, and then to have such a stark contrast of 16-3 is pretty damn insane. Ender also doing a good job. I always love to see an engineer who's top fragging, as he's currently sitting with 13 frags. He's actually leading the frags for his team. Go Ender. Can we get some Ender love in chat there, as Draft right behind him at 12. But I mean, overall, I mean, you just look at the top, it's all red, it's all DK. They're doing a great job here today on this point. And it'll be interesting, as the kids will be starting off on offense, so they're going to be the ones setting the time this time. And if you had to guess, what would you put, as we were coming into the second round, if the kids do any adjustments, what time do you think the kids are going to put up when it comes to the offense, Rogue?
It's a little more comfortable just because you don't have that clock breathing down your neck. I would honestly say we're probably going to see something close again to about 6 minutes. These players know how to play the map, and just a little bit of indecision and maybe a mistake or two ends up costing you a whole push in that last half. So, I'm pretty faithful that we're going to see another decent to maybe slightly faster time.
And I'm actually, one of the other interesting things, I'm sorry to kind of skew this back away, but I just realized this when I was looking through the health pools, and I think this is an incredibly interesting storyline, is that Metaway, so if you look at the heal targets between Metaway and Nursey, Nursey's top heal targets are Demo, Heavy, Pyro, Scout. And as we get started up into the next round, and we're going to enter into setup time here, Metaway's top targets are Heavy, Demo, Soldier, Pyro. I think that's really fascinating to see such a stark difference. For instance, Bobby getting 13% of the heals versus Etney, who only had 6%. Or the fact that Carl, the heavy, is leading the amount of heals, which is very unusual. That's kind of something you more see in terms of like EU. They used to do like really heavy-centric healing, but obviously it's working out as Carl's not only top fragging, but just interesting style. And I mean, maybe having a little bit more of a heal heavy inside of this map is working out for them.
And you have to look too, despite having a lot of the heals into the heavy, Giraffe still out damaging, out fragging ODB. We have Billy Soares going 11-4, Metaway with only 3 deaths. But with Nursey feeding all those heals into Giraffe, where's the rest of the combo? 3 kills each for Vanilla Love and Lazy, both of them pretty high up there on the deaths. So, is it going to work out for them if they just try it again?
We'll see if it can, as we are coming in potentially to the final round of this. DK won the first map 3-2 in an incredibly exciting final round of that. And they're going to be taking the first map. And this map, they potentially take it as well, put them into the grand finals if they win this round. They're currently up 1-0, as they're going to be coming down with the A point. And we'll see what the kids can do on offense this time around, as they're going to be rotating over to the B side.
A very quick stab from Feint onto Boar. That's letting yours work right in here. But, ooh, what do we have here? It looks like the Rogue prophecies come true. Heavy and Soldier are holding in this upper balcony area. But as I say this, the kids just walk right in. They take the Uber off on the draft. Right away, kiting expertly, and Spades dies by the hand of his own gun. Oh my goodness, ODB's Uber comes out. And they have such a massive advantage here that they're going to just farm the plays of the kids.
And the kids do get Nursey taken out. Beautiful job by Bobby to be able to do that. The ultimate baiting of the team worked out in their favor, but they have to be careful because they lost a couple players late. As Etney comes from behind, does get a lot of damage down. Now Split pushing back in here. The respawns for the offensive team are faster, and they are, I guess they're about the same distance away, but this is allowing kids to take this. Now ODB has to be careful because this is a choke area, and that's just it. Despite Nursey going down in the exchange, that's only going to put her at about maybe a 20% disadvantage, so really not the worst thing in the world. And as much as it kind of seemed like a good idea out of DK to bait that push in, ultimately the frags that they lost, I don't know if it was really worth it, as a minute 22 for the first 2 points is a very solid time coming out of the kids.
I'm so impressed by that repush there. It seemed like they just had player after player hold W at that point until there was no one left on the side of DK. And now, again, we don't really see any contention for the Wishbone. That being said, you can really only hold Wishbone if you have a lot of players up, which DK certainly did not. Now, speaking of which, they're not able to contest E from that Wishbone area, so the combo of DK has to go all the way through lower and try and spam out these players on this high ground. Boar does snipe out Giraffe, but Yost takes Carl right back.
Yeah, and the Uber is going to come out from ODB now. Split is going to be left alone as Nursey got taken down early in that fight from the Soldier. And so that's going to be a pretty good job as Bobby picked up a nice frag. Engineer, that's going to be Ender, who gets taken out as well. And this little kind of cute play that they tried to pull off that DK did it so well, it's not going to work out in their favor. You really need to contest the team lower earlier or just be a little bit more focused. But, I mean, that's kind of it, is that if you're going to try to do that little cheeky E push, you need to do a better job of holding Wishbone, and the kids, they just did not do that. That's the second time they've tried it, and the second time they failed. But we'll see. Maybe they're going to do a little bit more of a straight-up C push, as Metaway did pop his Uber, and then, which is a little bit questionable. So this is going to allow an off-Uber push if the kids want it.
And we see here, DK is very far back. The kids are able to come all the way through the C gate and tank their sniper through this corner. They're getting some cap time as well, and DK has nothing to save for it. They're just sort of giving it up at half, committing to throw out a little bit of damage.
Look at where DK is, though. Spamfest is behind them. Bobby's to the right. Everybody's in front. Right now, the kids are entrenched, and Spamfest is coming out from behind as Bobby jumping in. Bobby did get taken out, but Spamfest got one on the backside as ODB is pushing it. Beautiful collapse as we are seeing a team wipe coming out from DK. Beautiful play as they just surrounded them. took their crit and just did everything they could and just wiped them out, as now Metaway is going to be at 100%.
Yeah, I had my eyes on Ender in that push, where Ender was hiding in the corner of the point trying to edge that cap. As soon as he got found out, he pounces on ODB, tries to go in for the melee, but he gets cleaned up. And now Space is going to take down Giraffe here. So this is, you can see here, the flank is working in from the C gate, and they're able to watch connected very comfortably. So taking down Giraffe is going to stop the kids from taking map control. This is what's so strong for DK now. They're able to hold that C gate again. They're able to keep eyes on Wishbone, and now they're able to get a full setup on C.
So it looks like they're going to go for the E play again as they get ×5 onto it. A lot of cap time. This is going to force DK to have to do something about it. They do have the 100%, so they can just push in if they wanted to into the enemy team. As Feint is currently behind the combo, but they're going lower right now. They're probably going to pop their charge early on, and that's exactly what they do, is ODB pushing through. But Nursey only at 93% has to be careful. Kiting this, falling all the way back. They didn't lose too many players in that, or at least you would hope so, as Carl actually might get caught out here. Here comes Ubercharge, actually going to be leading the charge of the Pyro, as Spamfest and Viper are behind the enemy team. They have to be careful as the kids are being taken out. Spamfest finally does go down, but only 3 players alive on the defensive side, and all of them are on 10-second respawns, and this should open up for the kids to be able to do something, but Nursey got taken down Viper with a beautiful backstab.
Oh man, these spies so cognizant of what's happening. We had Feint gun down Metaway underneath, so not 10 seconds later, Viper comes in with the frag again. But as all the DK players are looking at E, the kids wrap back onto C. But that being said, DK is able to keep them pressured out, working in slowly but surely, and cleaning up player after player.
And it just seems like the kids are struggling to kind of understand how to do split pushes and kind of do that. As Carl, I love it, busting out the taunt, as I think it did Etney got killed by ODB, so he didn't deserve the taunt, Carl, man. You gotta earn those taunts. You gotta secure those kills. Who cares about damage, man? You're not a fucking demo man. But either way, we'll see what they can do, as the kids are all back up. They're getting fully healed, and they're gonna try to be pushing up from this cliff side. We'll see what they can do. They struggled with it before, but that's mainly because Spamfest came from behind. But Boar is now down, and so no sniper to worry about. The only thing they have to worry about is Viper, who is behind them, but right now the kids are trying to work this in for free, as they know they don't have a sniper to contest them.
Now, DK does bring in that full Uber ad. They're taking in Spamfest and ODB. We saw this drivers fully commit from the side of the kids, but, you know, they're just barely trying to get Vanilla Love out of there. Those Fists of Steel keeping him nice and safe, and punching Viper to death. And this is going to let Yosh set up here, but they don't have anyone who's able to cap.
And just, again, the kids are struggling over and over again. They cannot figure out how they want to push this, and you have to imagine that the Mumble environment that is just getting maybe a little bit toxic or a little bit quiet, as they just can seem to be confuddled by the way that DK is holding this and kind of allowing them to push in and just collapsing on them in the correct way. I think they need to do push both sides, as Nursey gets taken out, as Feint took him out at the same time.
Man, just when you think things can't get any worse for the kids here after so many failed pushes. I like this, though, out of their team. They say, you know what, we don't have a medic here, let's just go for this point. Maybe we get the force out, maybe we get the capture. Whatever happens is better than sitting around doing nothing. ODB is pressuring them back in. Vanilla Love is standing proud. Everything the light touches is his kingdom, and they're going to get the C capture.
Finally, but 7 minutes and 1 second for just 3 points is not good enough. But we'll see if the kids can turn it around, because that's the great thing about Steel, is it's not impossible to turn things around quickly in your favor, but even a favorable time right now, I can't imagine them going faster than 9 minutes, and Giraffe getting taken out from a beautiful headshot from the enemy sniper. And the kids, they just need to find something to go their way, but they're so consistently just losing players left and right. But now the fast respawns are going to go up in the favor of offense even faster than before, if I recall. In every frag, every trade that you take of the defensive team goes on to about a 20-second respawn, so they got to try to find those frags. But Boar taking down Giraffe again.
We're really, look what we're seeing here. Whoa, look at that kill feed. Feint takes down Boar, and it takes down Viper. So that's a nice, comfortable trade for the side of the kids. But take a look at this, sigafoo. We saw the kids just go flying into B right out the gate. They get the capture, no problem. When their medic goes down, they go flying into C. They get the capture, no problem. But when the kids are really apprehensive, really gentle with their pushes, that lets DK very comfortably come back in and contest them with whatever they try and do. So we really need to see more aggression out of them. We even saw them getting the better of the frags and damage on the Lakeside. But here again, a couple players work forward, a couple of them go into lobby. Now they lose their heavy, lose their spy, and DK is able to rotate and handle this.
And ODB doing a crazy amount of damage, stuffing Kids back, and they are not going to be able to do anything as Bobby also picking up some frags. Nursey's going to be left alone. Spamfest has the blood in the water, chasing the frag, and Nursey not able to dodge. Didn't even look Spamfest in the face as she was dodging with her back. And that's not going to be good enough, as Medaway is going to get a 50% advantage off of that. And again, I think you hit the nail on the head, where they're seeming to be indecisive about what they want to do, and it's working completely against them. I'm kind of questioning about whether they're even going to be able to capture anything in the next 6 minutes on this map, because they are just looking so piss poor, to be frank. They're not looking good at all. But right now, we're seeing DK doing a very aggressive hold inside of this lobby area as Boris staring down that sight line, but not able to get anything currently. We'll see what they can do. Is he does at least land one headshot, but Lazy on the backside does take him out, so that's going to give the Kids a little bit of comfort to push through here.
And even when things start to look up for the Kids, actually, well, as I say that right now, they do turn a couple of kills despite not having an Uber to speak of. But even when things start, I'm not even going to say turning in the favor of the Kids, I'm going to say looking even for the Kids. One of those star players from DK turns up, reminds us why they're the talk of the town. You know, Boar, Vipa, ODB, all these so strong players, Carl. And now we have the Uber getting forced out early, actually, out of Medaway. Lazy is the only one really taken down here, and we're having now a full Uber advantage from Nursey, but she's using it way on the other side of the map where no one's on D.
Yeah, that's a really incredibly questionable decision. Maybe Boar, she was worried about Boar? I'm really trying to figure out what she thought she was popping onto. I mean, we saw some questionable pops at the very tail end of Lakeside, and maybe just being a little bit tilted or some bad decision making. But right now, Giraffe and Nursey are going to get caught in here. They're going to get completely pinched right now. Nursey against 8, and she's going to accept her fate. She's going to run in there, easily get cleaned up, and just really questionable plays coming out of the Kids right now as they left their medic and demo alone on the D point. And they popped their Uber to get there as well. I really don't know what they're trying to do right now.
It's so hard at this point as a main caller. You know, Giraffe, you'll remember just last weekend I praised him as being such a strong main caller. We actually have the Uber coming out of Medaway, but you know, no one's really around. They get vanilla love. Oh, Bobby gets Nursey actually. Yeah, spoke too soon. Wait, what is happening, sigafoo? So many players down on both sides. This is such a scrappy fight.
And we'll see if Kids can make anything of it. They do have a teleporter to help them get to the front lines a little bit quicker. I think they just need to take control of lobby. They need to take control of that AD connector. Just hold on to it. Get a sentry gun in there. Do whatever you need to do to hold on to it. Get your teleporter up in a good spot. Start taking favorable trades. Every one you do is going to work out in your favor. Boar's trying to peek out on this one. He wants to get a sight line. With 5 players sitting on this, they're going to need to do a little bit better than that. No engineer for another 20 seconds. It looks like Billy as well as Spamfest and Carl want to wrap them around the corner. And they're also going to be cutting off their teleporter entrances. So anything they do is Vipa gets a nice pick onto Lazy. So no pyro to defend us as Bobby is just pinching them from every side. DK is just forcing the Kids down as Vipa takes on Nursey as well. And the Kids are just getting stuffed today. Thanksgiving is coming early as they cannot find a way to attack this point.
Yeah, you said it, sigafoo. This is, again, so questionable from the Kids. They say, okay, let's just commit to E and see how that goes. But a couple of their, a couple of their players just hang back. They crucially don't send any of their combo players forward. When you're taking E, but the enemies still have these spawns, you have to do something. Preferably, you have someone sitting in the jail area, which is that little tiny overhang on the red side of the E point, where we see Spade setting up right now. But no one was forward. They just said, okay, DK, if you want to come fight us, you can. They did a little bit, then DK goes all the way through lobby, wins the fight in there, and then just pushes from behind them onto E. The same thing again, and then pinch from the 2.5 sides. The Kids have no options but to die.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I really think the Kids just need to take it a little bit slower. If they did not push everybody on the point, because DK pushed into the lobby area, they cut off the teleporter, the entrance, so the players who respawn couldn't come in to help them out. I mean, honestly, all they need to do is go in, get some trades that are favorable, like just even if they have both players die, the respawns are going to be better, get them to the front lines, re-push back in, and just rinse, repeat, but maintain control of an area. Right now, DK is controlling the area. We are seeing Giraffe as well as Split and Nursey push around from the backside, but again, it's 3 against 9. What did they think they're going to do? Split gets cleaned up here. Giraffe is going to run away with his life, meet back up with Ender. Carl is down for 27 seconds. That's the respawns that this defense is working with, but they're still keeping their lives. Now Bobby is hearing the call. He's going to come up for the flank. Uber Charge comes out onto these 2 players of Giraffe as well as the Engineer of Ender. We'll see if his team can go and help him out, but right now they're probably just going to get cleaned up as Bobby with a beautiful air shot taking out Nursey, picking up another one, and right now the kids are just continuing to struggle to do anything.
One of my favorite things on CP Steel are watching the bloodbath battles on the D point. If you're the red team, as soon as you step off that high ground, you're in the ring. And the blue plays, as soon as you walk through any of those doors, jump off that railing, you're in the ring. And we saw there, no one makes it out, sigafoo. It's just a bloody massacre. Sort of what Thanksgiving was founded on, I guess. That was my attempt at a joke because it's a little better. But anyway, now we have the TK side working in from this lobby area. They're giving a little bit of capture time, waiting for this Uber. So now look at this. Medaway now on 100%, takes Spamfest right in, flashes Carl despite that Girardi. Fate trying to make a play, but Medaway's onto him. They're able to clean up more or less everything that they can see.
And again, it's just DK's doing a good job when they attack. They're attacking from every angle, but only one player left alive. It's Spades running onto the point, ×4. ODB's going to get back, and finally, the kids, they're finding the Christmas miracle early as they should be able to win this point. 4 is going to be the only one alive right now as they're going to come down, but it's going to be at max time, 14 minutes and 43 seconds, and I don't think they're want to show their faces after that one. That was an abysmal offense shown by them, and we'll see if they're going to be able to hold on the defensive side, but it is not looking good for them.
Oh man, yeah, this. You might remember we casted DK versus KND a while ago, and I have always and will always praise KND for having such strong cohesion. But right now, it looked like they had their cats playing for them. Like, where was the team play? Where were the people following up on each other? Where was that sort of magic that happens when the kids try and do something and it just manages to work out because they're so experienced in Highlander? We just saw none of it. We just saw them kind of go and then it didn't work out and they're like, oh shucks. That 1 or 2 times that they committed hard, they did such work with it, but the candle just kind of went out.
Yeah, and we'll see what DK can do. We'll see what K and D can do. The kids on the defensive side, if they can find anything. But right now, it's not looking good for them as they have to defend against a 14-minute time, which is so incredibly long. And the DK, you got to remember, on offense, they did it in 6 minutes. So we'll see what will happen in this round. If DK win it, they're going to be going into the grand finals. If the kids win it, they'll be putting it into a golden cap. So we'll see what will happen right now as he has some good steal action. And the 8-point, of course, is going to go down for free as it always does. It looks like DK is getting ready for their next push onto the B side.
And this is what I like to see. You have the teleporter exit, you have Etney staying in the upper area, but as soon as I say that, almost like it was on cue, Viper takes down both as soon as those words come out of my mouth. Viper goes down himself for it, but this is going to let DK work right up into this upper area and come in with the Uber.
A great job coming out of the Engineer of Ender, pushing ODB back during the supercharge. Nursey still holding on to his 100%, and this is what they needed in this situation. Spades get taken out. The gun went down to half HP, but that's not going to matter as it gets re-healed back up. And right now, this aggressive hold out of the kids that they've been known so well for is working out very well, but Nursey might get forced. ODB, as well as a soldier running in here. Nursey underneath of a pipe, Carl down incredibly low, but he's going to get pushed back, and Nursey's still holding on to this 100%, doing a great job of just a beautiful medic play, but Ender is getting his gun being taken out. No, he's going to be able to keep it alive, and the kids holding firm on this B point, but oh, beautiful reflect from Billy, takes down the Engineer, and this gun's going to get taken out.
Just when you think everything starts to turn around. We even have Nursey caught out here. She has no choice but to use the Uber out. She takes in Lazy, takes in Split. The only thing they're hoping to find here is Medaway, really, but Medaway's all the way back in spawn, just coming up on that 100% Uber.
And the problem is that despite everybody who went down, look at 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 9 seconds. These respawns are going to come up fast for the defense, I'm sorry, for the offense, and they already have 100%. Because Nursey decided to hold on to her Uber, she ended up getting forced due to holding so aggressively after the Engineer went down. I mean, I guess they pushed. It would have been hard to back up, but we're going to see DK just flood in here on the back of some invincible players. Spamfest leading the charge, going to try to rain down some damage, but here comes Etney with the conch out in the black box. Level 1 Sentry Gun gets focused down, but DK is going to continue to run forward. The heals are up right now with the conch. but they're still not going to be enough as Draft trying to contest this, but DK should come out on top. And then, yes, they finally are, as they're pushing them back to this choke site, but the kids, they're not going to give it up easy.
I was very excited to see that conch come out, but actually they're able to get the Uber off. Split comes in with the Uber, taking a Giraffe as well. They're trying to contest the point, but there's so many players that just can't shoot them all. Giraffe even goes down for it. Lazy and Split, the only ones left in. Split, very impressively dancing all over point. He finally goes down. Yoshi even trying to take a snipe back in. But yeah, despite such a great conch coming out of the kids, Boar was the difference maker there. He was able to look through that tiny window, snipe down Vanilla Love, and that even just getting the one kill, that's good, but having that pressure there for the entire fight, that's what won it for them.
And so now we're going to move on. 11 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock for DK to take this. They have a slight Uber advantage, but I don't think they're going to use it too aggressively, or they might just prove me wrong as Nursey went down. What are they doing? Don't they know that they don't have an advantage? As DK is just raining in the frags right now. They do have Ender as well as Etney, who are holding in the upper area, trying to slow this down. ODB does have to turn around, and Etney's going to get taken out. Split's going to jump in here, but he should get killed for his troubles. Times one onto the E-cap to serve as a distraction. Ender's going to run in here. Mini Sentry trying to do work. Metaway down incredibly low, but able to keep his life, as we are seeing a little bit of a stutter there. Apologies about the server difficulties, but there's no difficulties in this push out of DK, as they're doing a great job.
Even the numbers now are not good on the side of the kids, but DK opts to back up into the Wishbone. See, the thing is here, the spawns are much worse for Red, but you spawn pretty much on the point here. Faint! What a stab onto ODB. Just works right around, manages to get ODB to turn his shoulder the wrong way and gets the stab off, leaving Medway cold and alone. But
Nursey's
now
so down in, so look at this, oh! Sorry, Nursey was being flanked there by Bobby, but he wasn't able to secure the kill. And so that's going to leave Nursey alive, down 20%, but she shouldn't be forced off, but she's holding close again. They have to be careful, because if Metaway knew that they have an advantage, they do pop it off. ODB is going to try to work it forward here. Nursey at 95%, has to be careful still. She will be able to get it up in time. Vanilla Love is going to be flying. He's going to change his career from a heavy to astronaut, but ×2 onto the point of E, and this is going to become a little bit risky for the kids.
Oh,
Nursey went down.
A little too risky. That's a
Nursey,
pick off from Boar.
Yeah, and Lazy goes down as well. Only 2 players left alive for the kids, and this is not looking good.
I was even going to praise DK. I'm thinking, you know, I really like this. They're just going for the points they know they can get, going for C. But they see this door open, and they take a step right on through. And that's going to be the upper bracket finals going the way of DK.
Yeah, just a beautiful round coming out of DK, but again, that shows you what multi-pressure can really handle. The kids weren't doing a good job. There's consistently ×1, ×2 point pressure on that east side, and it really forces the enemy team to have to deal with you, to have to go deal with that, and then eventually, if you get the advantage, you can just put all of your forces there, rather than just consistently pushing C. DK showing a very close matchup on Lakeside, but on Steel, it, to me, wasn't even close. DK won that handedly, and the kids continued to struggle on that map, and I would not be surprised if we saw Steel again in the grand finals if these teams meet up. But either way, congratulations, as you said, to DK winning the upper bracket, putting themselves in the grand finals. The kids are going to have to fight their way back up into their, they're going to be playing next week, Monday, and that'll be, I'm not sure who won the BV versus Fast Forward matchup, but put some GGs in the chat there, as we can pull up some logs for this final round.
Yeah, you know, I mentioned earlier that I thought the maps are going to go this way, but I'm almost disappointed that it did. You know, it was such an interesting showing, and I was really excited to see what each team was able to accomplish. But again, it almost looked like different players playing on the side of the kids, and it's sort of a, you know, a little bit of a sob story here, and we can definitely see that reflected in some of these logs.
As I'm pulling them up right now, Boar, of course, Boar is actually top fragging, which is kind of unusual for a sniper on Steel. It's a little bit of weird sidelines, but he was so consistently getting frags. ODB behind him, actually tying it up, but getting some more damage. Giraffe on the other side, about 2,000 damage less, and about 21 kills less than his opposite. I mean, just overall, just a trouncing out of DK. Of course, these stats are definitely going to be padded in the favor of the defensive side because they had so much longer on that. I mean, honestly, it's impressive that Vanilla Love is even as high as he is. given that he had so little time on the defensive side of Heavy. But I mean, these stats I don't think can do any justice to just how well DK played on the defensive side. They so consistently would pinch the kids in awkward situations. As weird as that sounds to say out of my mouth, it is just so incredibly true. It's so hard to say things talking strategy, but really it was just every time that the kids were trying to push onto a point, DK would surround them, push from multiple angles, and it was so hard to deal with other kids. They kind of just kept getting baited. I think they just needed to have a little bit more patience, maybe hold some players back rather than putting everybody forward.
And, you know, we talked about the medic deaths in the first game, but now, again, it is padded to favor the defensive side, but Medaway 2 deaths to Nursey's 13 deaths. So that's, man, I'm a math major, 6.5 times the deaths on the side of Nursey. And you can even see here, Medaway is able to get out a lot more heals, but even then, it's not like your teammates are going to be taking too much damage. We see, again, DK favoring healing the Heavy, the kids favoring to heal that Demo Man, and we see a couple players stepping up, a couple other players stepping down, but again, it just comes down to the team cohesion and it comes down to that team play.
So congratulations again to DK, taking it 2-0, but a little bit closer on that first map than the second one. Any kind of final thoughts you want to give out here, Rogue, before we turn it away?
My thoughts are, what will happen if we see these teams meet in the playoffs again? Because this was, I actually tried to look it up, but I couldn't tell. This was the kids' map pick, correct? On CP Steel? I mean,
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I didn't get that information ahead of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, with whatever map they picked, I feel like DK would probably prefer Lakeside, but either way, I have to wonder what would happen next week, because this was such a strong showing, and it was a 2-0. We saw some glimpses of, you know, the first map could have very easily gone either way, but my thoughts are, what adjustments are they going to make for not next week, but 2 weeks from now in the grand finals, and what are DK going to do in response?
Yeah, DK did pick Steel. I'm just getting word confirmation on that. So that was the pick of them. So the kids did pick Lakeside, which made sense. I mean, they did play it very well, just not well enough. As congratulations again to the DK. Rogue, any shouts you want to give?
I'll just shout out Sam for being the cameraman and doing the dirty work so that all of us can enjoy such great games. That's all I got.
Sam, my man, any shouts you want to give? I can relate to the people. Shout out to Space Slicks? Spade Slicks, I'm assuming. Spade Slicks Day. That's like a she sells by the seashore.
Spades,
going on right there. I like
one
it.
Of the players in the server. Spades is the engineer for DK.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. Just making sure.
I'm just bad. Yeah, I'm just a slow man. I'm an engineer. Don't expect much from me.
You don't want to get the wrong data, right?
Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Rogue's attempted Thanksgiving line.
Thank you.
That was good. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming out here and supporting Highlander as well as casting. We really do appreciate it. I don't know. You can click the follow button if you want to. It's not that big of a deal, but I hope to see you guys. We should be casting next Monday's matchup of the lower bracket finals, but at the very least, we will be casting the grand finals, which will be 2 weeks from now on this very channel. So make sure you're staying tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I am sigafoo with Rogue and Sam to my side. Have a great night.